everyone, welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, my name's Holly. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a full face makeup tutorial, but mainly focusing on a brand new palette that I got the other week. So I have used the palette already, that is why it's not in the box, but this is the box if you wanted to see it. The palette's called Such a Gem and it's in collaboration with by Brookelle. I actually only discovered her a few months ago and her makeup looks are insane. Obviously she's beautiful, she's so pretty. And then a few months later she actually released a palette with Morphe and came out with this beauty. So I'm just going to open her up. Okay, so this is what it looks like inside. I'll just take the sleeve off. So as you can see, it's got loads of colours in there. The reason why I actually wanted to get this palette is because it's not my typical palette. Normally I go for so many different bright colours, but it's got some really nice shimmer shades. I love how big these pans are. It's set out like the James Charles Artistry palette, which I really like. And it's got loads of lilacs, lavenders, some red maroons and pinks. But yeah, so it's a really nice girly palette. So I was really excited to get this. So I've just gone off camera and made a start on this eye and I've been playing around and the shimmers are so nice. Like normally to get this kind of sparkle I have to use like a loose pigment, but it looks so pretty. I'm definitely getting by Brookelle vibes. I don't know why I call her by Brookelle, but that's her Instagram name. So I always start on my eyebrow, as a lot of you know, and I use my Primark Skinny Brow Pencil in the shade Dark Brown. And I'm gonna start going underneath my eyebrow in little strokes. So I'm just outlining the shape firstly. I really can't do an eye look without doing my eyebrows first. Like I don't know how people do it. So I like to extend the tail of my brow too. And I just fill it in by doing little tiny stroke motions. And then I go through the front of my brow, through the line. And then I just brush upwards with the pencil and do little hair strokes. Once I've done my brows, I always go in with my P. Louise base. This is in the shade 2, which is called Rumour, and I take that on my concealer brush. This is the SK05 by Kaylee and Sosu. And I just put some on the back of my hand and apply the product on both sides of my concealer brush. And I start from the front and just underline the shape of my brow. And this just really cleans up the shape. Some people like to carve out the top of their brows as well, but I feel like it's just a little bit too harsh for me. Once I've done that, I just do little patting motions, just little teeny ones, and I press more of that base onto my eyelid. So I never swipe, I always go in with patting motions, basically because I like to copy P. Louise. And this apparently is the best way to apply this base. I like to go further than where my eyeshadow is, so I just kind of slap it on all around my eye. But I leave out the underneath because I don't want it to crease because this is quite thick. But you can actually use this base underneath your eyes, but I just don't like to because I can crease there quite easily. I'm actually really liking my eyebrows, if I do say so myself. So the first shade that I went into, I've just put the palette on the floor. So the first shade that I used was a deep purple shade, which is this one here. So the brush that I used for that shade is the SK02 brush by Kaylee and Sosu again. It's really good for packing on a lot of colour in your crease and just kind of dispersing the product as well a little bit. So I started applying the product just on the outer corner first, because I don't know if you guys can tell, but I brought up the darker shade higher through the outer edge here and then slightly lower through there because I feel like it gives it a bit more of a dramatic effect. And then I went through my crease but made sure I didn't bring it too high. I really like this brush for this step because I used to a lot of the time in my crease use a flat shader brush, but I feel like it just keeps the edge a little bit softer so it's a bit easier to blend out products. So if you guys find it a bit difficult to blend out shadows in your crease, then go for more of a kind of a flat, softer shader brush, if that makes sense. Like this one's longer and softer, so you can still kind of rub at the edges and blend it out. So I pulled out the shadow a little bit on the outer corner. So it's the opposite of when I do halo looks. I keep them really rounded to the eye shape. But this one I'm kind of winging it out, if that makes sense. but not too crazy much. And then once I've got that basic shape, I'm just gonna pack on the color to make it nice and opaque. Don't be shy, girls. I actually don't have a palette like this. I just kind of have a lot of bright colors or some neutral palettes, but this one's kind of got that glittery vibe. And I've always kind of been a bit unsure about palettes with a lot of shimmers in them because they don't always perform that well. Like if I want a glittery shade, then I'll just use a loose pigment because I want it to really pop, but I'm actually really surprised. And then I applied the rest of that shade all over my lid. Because we're not cutting the crease, we're actually not going to do any cut crease or anything fancy. The next thing I did was I took a tiny little blending brush, one of my favourite brushes. This is the SK03 brush by Kaylee and Sosu. And then I went in with this shade here. I went 50% on the previous shade and 50% off. And I'm kind of blending as I'm packing on that shade. And I'm making sure that I keep the same shape, so I'm following the line where the purpley shade is. I'm not pressing hard at all, I'm just literally going really lightly. It actually blends out your shadows a lot better. I used to rub quite hard to blend out my shadows, and I feel like they just get stuck. They just kind of get stuck in the same place. So if you go in with a lighter hand and then build up, it's a lot easier. Trust me. So around the edges, I'm doing little tiny circular motions and going right up to my brow. So now I've done the pink, I'm gonna go back in with the purple because I can't help it, it's like my habit. I just wanna make sure it's the best it can be. So I'm using the same brush as what I did with this shade before. And I'm just gonna make sure that I've not lost any pigment. Also, I wanna make sure that the same shape is there. I'm just going to add a little bit on the edge and then just run it in through my crease to make sure it's nice and deep. I'm doing the same again with the pink because we like our shadows vibrant. So once I'm happy with that and I've blended to my heart's content, I took my little tiny fluffy brush and just went up and down through the edge. So I don't want to blend it out too much because I still like the shape of it where it's kind of strong but still soft at the same time, if that makes sense. Okay, so now we're going to do the fun part. I use my iconic setting spray. You can use water, any setting spray. I actually wish I used water because I love this stuff and I don't want to waste it on a brush, but I'm lazy, so you know. I use a synthetic concealer brush. This is by MAC. This is the 195. It doesn't have to be fancy. Like I actually haven't used this brush in about 6 months, but I just thought I may as well use it. And then what I did was I sprayed the brush on both sides. And then where the spray kind of hits this area here, I kind of just push it up to make sure as much moisture goes to the bristles as possible. Hate that word. Actually, moisture's not that bad, is it? It's more moist. And I went in firstly with this amazing shade here. The texture of them is really strange. Like they feel kind of, I don't know how to describe it. Oh my God, look at that. Kind of gel, like they feel kind of wet, but they're not. I don't know, it's hard to explain. And then I just patted it on closer to my inner corner and then pulled it out a little bit. I'm not doing this too neat, I'm just kind of roughly following the shape of my crease. The next one I used was actually this green shade here. I don't know if you guys can tell, but it kind of has like a green reflect in it. And then I applied that right next to the pinky shade. But yeah, if any of you guys ever apply full shadows, if you want them to pop a lot more, then make sure you spray your brush first. Now that I've applied that glitter, I just took my little fluffy blending brush and gently kind of ran through the crease with it. And this just softens up the lines slightly. So I'm not blending it out too much, I'm just kind of going over it backwards and forwards. For lashes, I'm going to use my Sosu lashes. I got these from Primark, so I didn't realise they sold them in Primark. It must be a new thing, because I am in there a lot, so. These are £5 and they're really cute. They're called Kylie. I don't know if this style is normally sold by Sosu. It says they're exclusively designed for Primark, so I'm not too sure if you can get them on their website. Maybe you just have to go to Primark and get these exact ones. I want to make a start on my foundation. So I'm going to use the Maybelline 24 Hour Stay foundation. This is in the shade Sand. Definitely too dark for me, but I'm going to go with it anyway. I'm 100% refusing to buy another one of these foundations just because it's not in my shade, so. I've moisturised my face already. I'm not going to use a primer because I'm not too sure about primers really. Like, I don't know if they actually work. So I'm just pressing the foundation into my skin. Get rid of my spots. My skin is hating me lately. I don't know what it is. Like, I used to have really bad skin when I was younger. And then past few years it hasn't been too bad. Like, it's really cleared up. But now, I don't know why, it's like attacking me. I just applied my lashes because I almost forgot about them and the glue was about to dry, so. Okay, this foundation really isn't my shade, but as long as we do it all the way down to the neck, then that's fine. Now I'm going to highlight my face. I've only used this once, I just kind of tested it a little bit, and it's the Revolution Fast Base Concealer. This is in the shade C4. It has like a little applicator on the end, so I'm just going to dot it on the bridge of my nose. So I'm just going to blend that out with my damp beauty blender. That's really nice. Oh my god. Oh, I love this. Okay, I really like this concealer. Hopefully it doesn't crease loads, but I really like it so far. I'm just going to blend out this side. It might actually finally replace my Primark one, which I really like. The coverage is really nice, but it feels really light, so not too thick and heavy, which is what I love in a concealer. I wouldn't mind a concealer really thick if it didn't crease, but I'm prone to creasing under my eyes so badly. So I'm just going to set under my eyes because we're going to finish the eye makeup. So I'm going to use my Fit Me Loose Powder. This is in Fair. I think you can only get this online. I did get this abroad, so I'm really sorry. But if you want it, I'm pretty sure it's available online. So I'm just tapping off the excess. I'm just using a really tiny brush just so I can go in detail and around the crease of my nose. That's where foundation always gathers. I kind of have a love-hate relationship with powders just because I'm quite prone to creasing and things looking cakey on me around this area. So I'm always really like, oh, I don't want it to go dry. But this powder's really nice. Okay, so now we're going to finish the eyes. Where is the palette? So for under the lid, I'm just going to keep it simple. I'm going to go in with the dark purple shade again, and I'm taking that on my SK04 pencil brush. And I'm going to run that right along. This look is really simple from what I normally do, but I love it so much. I'm obsessed with this. I can't believe I'm going to bed after this. So I'm going to take my Morphe flat shader brush and dip into that pink shade that I used earlier. I'm going to run that right underneath the purple. I'm just going backwards and forwards to make sure it's nice and blended. Okay, I love this. This is so cute. I love it. I hope you guys like it too, because it's going to be really awkward if you don't. So I'm going to contour, and I'm using the LA Girl Pro Conceal in the shade Toffee. Nice and cheap and cheerful. I'm going to find my cheekbones and hide my forehead. Just put a little bit around here. And then I'm going to do a little tiny bit on the side. And then underneath, I'm going to do it under my lip as well. Why not? I'm going all out. So I'm just using my beauty blender. When I'm blending out my cream contour, I like to blend upwards, so I never go down. I just feel like it creates a nicer shape. So I'm just going upwards. The thing with this concealer as well, using it as a contour shade, it's actually really easy to blend out. So I do recommend it, definitely. So I'm going to go in with an eye brush and just blend out my nose contour. A lot of the time I just use powder to contour my nose, but I'm going all out because I'm loving this eye look, so I'm going to do everything I can. Don't be scared to use eye brushes on your face as well. Like, a lot of eye brushes I do actually use on my face. Because sometimes I feel like you need to get in there and you need to kind of be a bit more detailed. And then I'm going to go around my lips. I never actually do this bit. I don't know what's going on with me tonight. So I'm going to set that in place with bronzer, and I'm going to use my brand new Fenty Beauty bronzer that I got from Boots. Oh my god, amazing that it's in Boots now. So this is called the Sun Stalker Instant Warmth Bronzer, and this is in the shade Private Island. I really hope I got the right shade. Let you know. Oh my god, it's amazing. Fenty Beauty do the most amazing packaging. Like, it's literally my favourite. Look at that. So pretty. I don't want to use it. So it has a little mirror as well, which is so cute. And it's got FB in the middle. So I'm going to dip into my Fenty Beauty bronzer. This is the number 2 BH Cosmetics fluffy brush. And then just go over where I've contoured. I like to go down as well through here. I don't know why, but I feel like it helps. Everyone's face shape is different, so personally on my face shape I just like to do little things like that because I feel like it kind of makes me look a little bit more contoured, if that makes sense. Do you know what? This bronzer is actually really nice. Like, it doesn't have loads of kickback in the pan, and you can build it up really nicely. Oh yeah. I've been dying to use this bronzer. I was supposed to do a testing video and I tried to film one the other week. I don't even know what happened, but you'll be surprised to know that some videos I just don't put up because they go wrong. Like, my foundation was going wrong, and then I wiped it off and said like, okay, I don't like that foundation, let's do it again. And it got really late, and then I just was like, no, can't do it. Love this, love it. I'm gonna put a little bit down the sides of my nose as well, just to set it a little bit. Okay, next a blush, which is one of my favourite things to do now. Like, I love putting blusher on, and I used to hate blusher. I feel like, along with everyone else, everyone used to hate blusher. I'm going to use my PS Pure Blush palette. I don't know if you can see it because my lighting. I'm going to go in with this shade here called Fever. I don't think I've tried that before. But yeah, I'm going to give that a go. I'm going to take that on my BH Cosmetics number 3 brush, and I'm just going to dip into the pan a little bit. Primark blushes always surprise me. They're so pigmented. They're actually really nice as well, so I'm going to pop that on there and just pull it up to my contour. Once I've applied all my powders, I like to go in with a dewy skin mist or just some type of skin mist. The one I want to use today is the iconic London Prep Set Glow Spray. I can't remember what shade this is. They have 2. This is the lightest one, so you just have to shake it. I love that stuff. It's so nice. Okay. For highlighter, I think I'm going to actually go into this palette because it has so many nice shimmer shades. So I'm going to give it a go. I think I'm going to go in with, let's try this one. Ooh, that looks nice. I'm going to try this shade here. I'm just taking that on my little Morphe brush. I like using small brushes for highlighter just because it's a bit more detailed. Just going to apply, whoa. Oh my goodness gracious, oh my lord. So you can definitely see like little tiny bits of glitter, not like a normal highlight, but it kind of like melts into the skin, which is really nice. It's really weird, like I can see just bits of glitter. Like when I first applied it, I was like, oh no, it's just literally gonna be glitter. But once you kind of work it into the skin, it just melts. Put a bit on my chin. Now for lip products, I'm going to use my old-time favourite at the moment. Like, I knew I'd love it, but it just grows on me even more. I'm going to use the H&B Cosmetics Liquid Matte Lipstick. This is in the shade Obsessed. Then on top, I'm going to use the gloss in the shade Feeling Myself. Okay, so there you have it. This is the finished look. I hope you like it. I love this so much. Like, I'm so happy with it and how it came out. I was a bit like in two minds because I normally do really, really bright colours, and I wanted to do something really creative with it, but I decided to kind of strip it back, and I literally only used 4 of the shadows. I love it so much. The shimmer shades, the glitter shades in the palette are probably the best shimmer metallic shades that I've ever used on my eyes that I can remember. So yeah, really, really like this palette, and I'll definitely be using it again. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and have a lovely week. Bye guys!